Just the way he's like.
I don't know what it's going.
Welcome back to Tash TV. So today we're going to be doing something that was requested. Recently, Ash and I kind of reviewed the trailer for a new drama that came out last week called
10Dance.
Yeah. So we really enjoyed the movie, and I'll just give you a general idea of the plot. So basically there are two ballroom dancers that are very competitive, but they both have different styles. One has more of a Latin style and one has more of a waltz ballroom style. But they both want to kind of help each other improve in the different styles so that they can both compete in the 10 dance, which is this big competition where you do all sorts of 10 different styles of dancing, the waltz, the rumba, all sorts. By the way, we're not very versed in the ballroom world, so they do 10 different types of ballroom dances and compete to become the world champion, basically. And obviously, to our surprise, this was actually a romance drama between the two main characters, Suzuki and Suzuki. Apologize if I pronounce it wrong, but they both have the same name, Shinya. So it's really interesting. Yeah. Like it's them, mainly about them competing, but also learning each other's styles, but also their friendship and relationship sort of blossom, and see how that sort of works within them both being rivals. So it's really great. I thought it was really good. So I think the first thing we're going to kind of talk about, well, I'm going to ask Ash, is what were your general thoughts, I guess, when watching it?
No, honestly, I think the chemistry between the two actors was so good. It's so nice to end the year off with such strong chemistry with actors, because I was like, I haven't seen, I mean, no, that's a lie. I have seen some movies with very, very good acting, but this specifically, in this world and with this sort of dynamic, I think it's hard to pull off, especially because you're learning so many dance moves, and especially with these actors, I believe they're not trained dancers anyway, so they would have had teachers teaching them for a certain period of time under a deadline. So there's a lot of pressure to not only perfect the moves, but also, you know, showcase the emotion that's needed and required as the manga portrays. So there was that slow romance and passion and yearning, you know, that was there, which I was like, oof, like it's so nice to see. A lot of tense moments as well, because of course there were enemies at the beginning, to be fair.
Enemies to lovers, love it.
The lovers sort of solidified at the end, right? And it was really nice because they sort of pushed each other through the training, I think, because the training scenes, I think, were the most intimate. Personally,
oh, they were really intimate.
Just so, I was like, I don't understand how actors do this and don't fall for each other,
and don't fall in love with each other.
It's like there's a special skill that, you know,
I think it's a
crazy.
Talent.
Yeah, it's a talent.
But I think it's a talent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a talent, but also it's just, yeah, there's a skill to it. So I think yeah, and then of course the dance sequences were really impressive. Again,
really good.
Almost made them look like they're professional, you know. So you get to see different ranges
as well. Yeah, I was gonna say, if anyone does ballroom dance as well, maybe you'll be able to tell whether or not it's really good, or maybe it's just us thinking that it's like really amazing. But yeah.
Yeah, the different styles, because there was like waltz, there was tango, there was quick step, and then the Latin dancers that what's his name? Suzuki was teaching Suzuki.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so You know, the last time I watched something like this was in a similar fashion was something like Call Me by Your Name, but I know they're like not even similar in terms of their their actual contents, but it's just the chemistry between the actors, and then
Yes.
the way that the emotion is carried throughout. I think that is what made this show or this movie stand out. Yeah.
No, that was really well said. I think it's interesting that you compared it to Call Me by Your Name, because I really felt like I understood what you meant in terms of the chemistry and stuff. Because as much as people think Call Me by Your Name is very like, you know, so spicy and interesting, I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on more of the general relationship and the romance rather than just like that sort of side. And like Ash said, in the dancing, like it was like very like when he was doing like putting his hands on his side and kind of like guiding him.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And the thing that they kept saying about like how dance sort of tells you kind of what it kind of tells a story or something like that, and it's like the story that you want to sort of tell. And the closer they got, it's just like I feel like dance is definitely a very like an intimate thing, especially like these different types of ballroom dances when you've got a partner.
And there was that quote at the beginning where it was like, you know, dance is two souls coming together or something like that.
That's so
and I was
beautiful.
I was like, that, you know, pretty much solidifies the whole story, where it's like two different souls finding each other, and it's not really about who they are and what they look like and all of that. It's just it's just in the moment sort of thing. So I think the emotional depth of this movie is really good. And yeah, we were talking about this before, but it was like the cinematography, the sort of scenes, you know, even the scene where Suzuki was driving in the car and it looked like a cyberpunk
my god.
do you know what I mean? Like there was like a certain aesthetic to it where it just looked really sleek. I was like, ooh, you know.
I was definitely very impressed. I feel like with a lot of Japanese dramas, well, I haven't watched as many as Ash, but from the ones that I've seen, like you'll either get like the normal, really standard, like sort of cinematography, or you'll get something that's very like, I don't want to say A24, very indie in its like look, even in the filters used, like the colors, like it was very cinematic. Was the word I'm gonna use. Ash mentioned the scene in the car. I'm gonna mention the scene in the train. That itself was
the scene
phenomenal.
in the train was crazy. I kept pausing every 5 seconds. I was like, wait, I need to go back and just watch this again, because it was just done so well. I was like, is this really happening?
Exactly.
I was like, what?
Even from before they got into the train, when he like turns around and he's debating on whether or not to like go after him, and then he runs and he's running through the streets of, I have no idea where they are, somewhere in Japan, I'm assuming, and his scarf is flying off, and you know, this guy is a very Suzuki, he's a very not Suzuki, I think I'm saying. Suzuki. He's a very like put together guy, which is why I think he does the waltz. I think we'll talk a little bit more
strict on himself.
Strict, exactly.
Very, you know, he follows the rules.
Exactly. So for him to be chasing after him in the streets, it's very like, like I really felt that was the moment where I was like, okay, they're both expressing, like he's really expressing his interest for him. And like, again, it was just like the music encompassing like the movement in the train. Well, the way we're analysing this, you can tell it's just like very... It was
so good. No, but we were saying that like Suzuki fell first and Suzuki fell harder, right? Because the blonde-haired guy was so... He was
obsessed.
Very like... Yeah, no, he didn't want to commit because he already felt it that like if they committed, something would happen, or there would, you know, something would happen that he couldn't control. So there was this sort of vulnerability that we can see unravel with Suzuki, and it was so nice to see. I mean, I felt bad for Suzuki at some parts because Suzuki was, that part where,
I
you know,
did.
again, spoilers, his like ex girlfriend shows up
When
and they
he was
dance
dancing with
and
his
stuff.
ex. Oh
And
my
I was just
god.
like, okay, like, why is he doing this to him? Like,
He also
that you've
didn't
already
fully
had
clarify
this.
that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're just dancing, but at the same time,
Mhm.
if he looked like he actually enjoyed the dance with his
Yeah.
ex, which obviously when Suzuki was seeing it was like, like, so you can enjoy it with somebody else now, like,
But you can't enjoy
that
it
was kind
with
of sad.
me, like.
No, it's like
On
he
that
can
part.
enjoy it with him, but it's like they
Mm,
thought that was the only that was the connection there.
yeah.
Because
I want to
he doesn't
say.
enjoy it with his partner, like his current partner,
True.
which was kind of
Well, that
sad.
that part with his current partner is actually kind of sad as well. We talk about the girls that are involved in this storyline. Obviously, I actually wish I remembered their names, but Suzuki's partner, I really loved her. She was very like fun. She didn't care. Apparently, I think they dated at some point, or she said something
Yeah.
about them having done something. I think she does love Suzuki, but she is more on
A
like the
platonic love.
professional side. It's a platonic, exactly. It's more platonic love, because you could see, especially like she's okay with all like the people he just brings in to like, and she's constantly going to his place like snapping him out of like whatever like low moment he's kind of in. And what I really liked was one of the last scenes with them. You know, after that whole thing happened with Suzuki, oh my gosh, with the other guy, and he was like, what? And she came up to him, and I'm not sure if she knew Ash. Maybe you can like confirm to me whether she knew what was going on with them. But she was like, I believe in you, basically. Like, we can go far with this. And they started to cry, and it was just lovely.
Yeah.
I thought like it was nice to see her, because she also has passion for this as well. And I feel like in a way sometimes the girls are kind of like pushed out of it. It seemed like a lot of focus on the guys actually. When we look at the whole thing, even with like, you know, the other competitors, it seemed to be very focused on the men in this sport. But and the women's, because the men like sort of lead in the dancing and stuff like that. But I feel like it was nice to see the perspective from the women, and it's like they were such a good support to a lot of the men. Even the other girl who apparently still has some, what they said, PTSD from a previous like fall with another dance, and how she was picked up to dance with him because, you know, he thought it'd be easy to kind of push her and to mold her. But yeah, I don't know, I really like that. What do you think?
Yeah, there was a lot of vulnerability, and I really like the scene specifically where Suzuki was teaching Suzuki about how to be in the woman's position in a dance, and just sort of that tucking in, and just, you know, being on heels as well, like he was lifting her up. I was like, this is what it is. Like, I don't know why. I mean, heels look good on girls, and some girls really can do it, but it's like a lot of the time they're pretty painful, and
Yeah.
you know, it's not easy with that additional stress on your feet, but also, you know, stretching your neck that far and all of that in the waltz. It looked so painful when he actually broke it down and, you know, presented it on a guy. So yeah, I think that was a really good, I haven't seen that before, or haven't seen that much in a movie or in a show like this where that's shown. So I think when Suzuki experienced that, he realized, oh wow, you know, women go through this, and it's something that he was just oblivious to and maybe didn't pay attention. So I appreciated Suzuki's attention to detail there, and it shows that he does care for his partner, because he mentioned the fact that, okay, he wants to make his partner shine. And he mentioned that a couple of times, even to the girl. He was like, whoever I'm with, I will make sure that they shine brighter than anyone on the stage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really nice, because that's his own way of caring. Because he can seem kind of cindery and cold, which I think it definitely showed towards the end. But then right at the end, I think it showed that, okay, that cold ice statue is slowly melting for Suzuki, and then this like hot fiery guy is sort of calming down his flame, and so they're matching each other's temperaments. And you know, they haven't found the balance yet, but they're kind of getting there. I think that's sort of what I took away from the end. And we better see a season. Everyone says season 2, but it's a second movie. Or we could have a show. No one's gonna say no to a show. Or a series. Like, can we, because I don't think we have a 10Dance. Like, is what
we
he basically alluded to. He was like, I'll see you at the 10Dance. So what was everything about? Like,
exactly.
Was it just practice? Was it illusion?
That was my biggest concern at the end. I was like, okay, like, I mean, I don't mind something being sort of open-ended, but I felt like this needed a little bit more of like a conclusion. So I'm expecting a second movie where they actually go to the 10Dance, because I think what was lovely about the end as well, there's a lot of things that I feel like just are unsaid, but they kind of speak through dance. That's what I'm mostly getting from a lot of it. Because I don't think Suzuki actually apologized to Suzuki or said anything realistically about the way he kind of pushed him off. I don't think he actually did.
An apology, yeah.
So when he came up and asked him to dance, I was like, oh, okay. And that was beautiful seeing them dance together. I kind of was like, oh, are they going to have a conversation about it? But I guess the conversation was the dance. And I think sometimes, you know, I actually did like that. I did appreciate, you know, there's different forms of showing things in media that, you know, it doesn't have to always be, you know, straight away. A lot of times people tend to these days kind of have to spell out things to you. Instead of like, you know, because media literacy. Well,
in this case, it was actions speak louder than words, maybe.
Exactly.
But in some areas, words do need to be spoken.
Words do need to be spoken. So we expect those words spoken at the 10Dance.
Those 3 words, we know what those 3 words are.
Yes, exactly.
That need to be spoken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're hearing those 3 words. It needs to be done. I also liked how the 2 girls were dancing at the end. The 2 girls kind of became like sisters.
Yeah.
I felt like
I thought we were going somewhere with that as well, but maybe not.
Yeah, I thought it was going somewhere with that, but
it would have been a double whammy.
We can't get everything. Who knows, maybe movie 2 will get something from that. But it was really nice. What was interesting, I don't know about if you felt like this about this, Ash, but there was a lot of emphasis on sort of like the UK, and like there was scenes in Blackpool and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess a lot of these classic arts a lot of them were formed in the UK, or maybe inspired by a lot of European countries and stuff like that. So I was hearing the mix between English and then Japanese at the same time was very interesting.
But
and
also like Strictly Come Dancing, I think I mentioned it in our trailer reaction, that the Blackpool thing reminded me of Strictly Come Dancing, because there is always an episode where they go to Blackpool, and that's like the hub of ballroom as well. So
I had no idea about that. That's something I've just learned.
Yeah, I used to watch Strictly Come Dancing quite a bit as well, so I was familiar with a couple of these dances, but it's just been a while, and it was nice to see that. Yeah, it paid homage to that scene. So yeah, honestly, this movie is just, the performances by both of them was so solid. It was so clean and not awkward in any way. Like, I felt awkward watching it because it was so good. It was so good. Because I was like stopping it again every 5 seconds. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But
I also wanted to mention as well, the one thing that I liked that was different about this film was the setting. I don't know where they were in Japan, but specifically Suzuki. He was like in a nice like beachy like area. And there was just, it was very different. It was nice to see a different perspective of Japan, but there was also diversity in the cast as well. When it really got into that Latin influence, and you know how Suzuki was trying to get him to get involved. You know, he took him to dinner, and it was a very fancy. I thought that was a very funny scene, and he was like, "Drink this way, eat with me this way."
Yeah, just let go.
Yeah. And it was nice for him to, on the other end, to Gookie, to let go and dance with all those people. And they were like, yeah, so two different people coming together and learning from each other. They learned more than just dancing from each other. They learned different things in life.
But yeah, overall, just super high quality production, which we love. Cinematography, the dances, the effort, and the chemistry. All in all, like really 10 out of 10 movie. I've literally not heard a single bad thing about this movie since it's come out. So I'm so glad that it's having such warm receival from everyone, and it's just being loved, and I need it to be more loved so that they push for another movie. So come on, guys, we need to keep streaming or watching this.
Exactly, guys. They cancel things on Netflix all the time these days. We have to like.
That's the thing. They really do be canceling just random or good shows for whatever reason. But this movie needs a second part. So we're waiting. Netflix. So yeah.
So, guys, let us know what you thought about 10Dance. Have you watched it? I'm assuming you have if you've decided to watch this review. But if you haven't, hopefully we haven't spoiled too much for you and you'll actually give it a go. I feel like it's a nice watch. It was it was really great to see a difference in sort of these J-dramas that are coming out. And yeah, let us know what you think. Don't forget to comment below, like, and subscribe if you want to see more from us. And yeah, thank you for watching, because we really do take into account your suggestions as well. And we'll see you next time then.